Most people believe we are driven by the pursuit of pleasure. We're told we are biological machines, constantly chasing the next hit of dopamine. But if that's true, why do so many of us stay in relationships that provide zero pleasure and a mountain of pain? Why do we cling to the very people who hurt us? In 1952, a Scottish psychoanalyst named Ronald Fairbairn realized that everything we knew about human desire was a lie. He discovered that you aren't seeking a feeling, you are seeking a person. He called it object seeking. It is the blueprint for why you do what you do. Before Fairbairn, the world followed Freud. The common belief was that we were just managing instincts. Therefore, therapy was about managing drives. But Fairbairn, working in the grey, rain-slicked streets of Edinburgh, applied a different lens. He looked at neglected children and noticed they didn't want pleasure. They wanted their parents, even if those parents were cold or cruel. He wrote the words that broke the old model. The libido is primarily object-seeking, not pleasure-seeking. He realized that we are motivated by the need for relationships, not merely by instinctual discharge. To Fairbairn, your self isn't a collection of drives. It's a collection of the people you've let inside. This leads to a terrifying conflict. To a child, being alone is a death sentence. Dependence upon others is the central fact of human existence. But what happens when the person you depend on is unreliable? This is where the mind does something radical to survive. Fairbairn observed that a child would rather cling to a bad object than have no object at all. To keep the relationship alive, the child internalizes the badness. They decide, the parent isn't bad, I am bad. By taking the blame, the child preserves the hope that the parent can still love them. We break ourselves into pieces just to keep the other person whole. This creates the lie, the misconception that governs our adult lives, the belief that we must be someone else to stay connected. Fairbairn showed us that internal objects shape the very structure of your personality. Your current anxiety isn't just a mood. It's an old survival strategy in a new world. You aren't fighting your partner today. You're fighting the internalized object of someone who let you down 30 years ago. Your mind has become a house built out of old relationships. So why am I telling you this? Because Fairbairn gives us a path to change. If the psyche is shaped by attachment and loss, then it can only be healed by a new kind of connection. He taught us that psychological health depends upon secure relationships. You don't need to fix your instincts. You need to audit your objects. You need to realize that you are no longer that child who has to choose between pain and isolation. You are a fundamentally relational creature. Fairbairn's ultimate lesson is a gift. Love of the other is the primary motivating force in our development. We are built by the people we seek. Therefore, choose the people who make you feel like you no longer have to split yourself in two just to be loved. You aren't looking for a high, you're looking for a home. I'm grateful for the moments shared in discourse. May our paths cross again in the fullness of time.